For more on diversity in higher education, let's bring in Douglas Sloan. He's a former vice president of the NAACP in Washington, D.C. Great to have you on the program today. How has this ruling impacted universities, the intake for universities so far?
Well, it's very interesting because the recent studies have shown that the enrollment of Asian students has actually dropped this year at some of the more prestigious Ivy League universities that they were focusing on, like Princeton and Yale and Duke, which actually is an Ivy League, but of course is one of America's premier universities. Asian enrollment dropped at Princeton by 6%, Yale 6%, and Duke 3%, and then at Dartmouth 1.5%. So in terms of the argument of race-based admissions processes hindering forward development and growth in the Asian community, that whole idea really isn't bearing out. And Harvard University in particular said, okay, whose Asian populations had stayed essentially the same, said that now they don't have any idea of, during the admissions process, of who's of what race. So that really puts a dagger into the whole idea of race-based admissions harming Asian students, because their enrollment has not improved at Harvard University, who does not know the race of the students until after the admissions process has been completed. So it really does kill that argument.
So given that, we're in the early stages at the moment, so we're not seeing a huge impact yet, but what do you think it means for the longer term adverse impacts of lack of diversity on the quality of higher education?
Well, it really can be harmful, and this is just another symptom of, maybe everyone that is interested not getting to the ballot box, because this was Trump's Supreme Court, Trump's conservative Supreme Court that struck this down, that also obviously had a huge impact on what's happening with the women's right to choose, but that's another show. We won't talk about that right now. But all of this goes back to people exercising their rights at the ballot box, because had Trump not been elected in 2016, we wouldn't have this ultra-conservative court coming in and making these changes to America's education system. And one of the professors in some of the articles pointed out, they said, listen, we were using this ability of understanding what race is, the race of students that were applying to our university, to check our own biases. And now, because by law, we cannot use race in any shape or form in the admission process, we don't know if we're being biased or not. So it really can work backwards. And I think we see that again, because in some of these universities, like I think at Yale, black admissions went up by like 3%. And then at Duke and Princeton, they stayed the same. We don't see the desired effect of the people that filed this lawsuit to begin with. And that's really quite interesting.
All right, Douglas Sloan, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.